Good morning, everyone. Happy third month sa Rappline Pagoba Vlogs. And congratulations. Alam niyo na yun, guys. What's hour na lang? Please tulungan niyo ako panoorin video ko. Okay, start na. Genesis 33, 34, and 35. Jacob meets Esau. Jacob looked up and there was Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. Sabik si Esau, guys, oh. Niyakap niya si Jacob. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him. Alam mo yung sabik na 20 years kayo hindi nakita. And they wept. Then Esau looked up and so, huwag kang umiyak. Huwag kang umiyak. I'm carried away sa kwento. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. Who are these with you? He asked. Jacob answered, they are the children God has graciously given your servant. Then the maidservants and her children approached and bowed down. Next Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of all came Joseph and Rachel, and they too bowed down. Esau asked, what do you mean by all these drops I made? To find favor in your eyes, my lord, he said. But Esau said, I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself. Mas marami ng si Esau. Teka, guys. Naluluha. Tapos sa verse 10, guys. No, please, said Jacob. If I have found favor in your eyes, accept this gift from me. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God. Now that you have received me favorably, please accept the present that was brought to you, for God has been gracious to me, and I have all I need. And because Jacob insisted, Esau accepted it. Then Esau said, let us be on our way. I'll accompany you. But Jacob said to him, my Lord knows that the children are tender, and that I must care for the ewes and cows that are nursing their young. If they are driven hard just one day, all the animals will die. So let my Lord go on ahead of her servant, while I move along slowly at the passing of the droves before me, and that of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir. Esau said, then let me leave some of my men with you. But why do that? Jacob asked. Just let me find favor in the eyes of my Lord. So that day Esau started on his way back to Seir. Jacob, however, went to Succoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelter for his livestock. Ay, naku, yung ilong ko. Ito yung sinasabi kong hindrances. Yung ating ilong. In Succoth, where he built a place for himself and made shelters for his livestock. That is why the place is called Succoth. Succoth. After Jacob came from Padan Aram, he arrived safely at the city of Shechem in Canaan and camped within sight of the city. For 100 pieces of silver he bought from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem, the plot of ground where he pitched his tent. There he set up an altar and called it El Elohe Israel. Kasi nga Israel na ang pangalan niya, di ba? Pinalitan siya. Dinah and the Shechemites. Now Dinah the daughter Leah had born to Jacob, went out to visit the women of the land. When Shechem son of Hamor the Hivite, the ruler of that area, saw her, he took her and violated her. His heart was drawn to Dinah daughter of Jacob, and he loved the girl and spoke tenderly to her. And Shechem said to his father Hamor, "Get me this girl as my wife." When Jacob heard that his daughter Dinah had been defiled, his sons were in the folds with his livestock, so he kept quiet about it until they came home. Then Shechem's father Hamor went out to talk with Jacob. Now Jacob's sons had come in from the folds. As soon as they heard what had happened, they were filled with grief and fury because Shechem had done a disgraceful thing in Israel by living with Jacob's daughter, a thing that should not be done. But Hamor said to them, "My son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter." In love kasi, guys. Pero kahit na in love ka, dapat hindi ganun. Nag-aaral. Painaw ulit. Mauubos na yung tissue ko. Yun nga raw. Pero, please give her to him as his wife. Intermarry with us, give us your daughters, and take our daughters for yourselves. You can settle among us, the land is open to you, live in it, trade in it, and acquire property in it. Then Shechem said to Dinah, father and brothers, "Let me find favor in your eyes, and I will give you whatever you ask. Make the price for the bride." Allah, parang binili na si Dinah. "And the gift I am to bring as make the price of the bride and the gift of I am to bring as great as you like, and I'll pay whatever you ask me." Ito na yung sinasabi ko, na pag may humingi ng land, sukatin yung dagat. Joke lang. Pero ito kasi mayaman eh. Mayaman si Shechem. Kaya sabi niya, "I'll pay whatever you ask me, only give me the girl as my wife." Because the sister Dinah had been defiled, Jacob's sons replied deceitfully as they spoke to Shechem and his father Hamor. Because their sister Dinah had been defiled, Jacob's sons replied deceitfully as they spoke to Shechem and his father Hamor. They said to them, "We can't do such a thing. We can't give our sister to a man who is not circumcised." Oh, that would be a disgrace to us. We will give our consent to you on one condition only, that you become like us by circumcising. Oh, dapat guys, 8 days pa lang ang bata circumcised na, diba? All your males. Then, we will give you our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves. We'll settle among you and become one people with you, but if you will not agree to be circumcised, we'll take our sister and go. Their proposal seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem, the young man who was the Anong verse na tayo? Pinipiga ko yung dice, guys. Maganda siya sa kamay. Tsaka na ano yung katawan ko. Medyo kumikinhawa siya. Sa verse 18 tayo guys. Their proposal seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem, the young man. Genesis 35 verse 18 ha. Bilis na. The proposal seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem, the young man, who was the most honored of all his father's household. Lost no time in doing what he said, because he was delighted with Jacob's daughter. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the gate of their city to speak to their fellow townsmen. These men are friendly toward us, they said. Let them live in our land and trade in it. The land has plenty of room for them. We can marry their daughters, and they can marry ours. But the men will consent to live with us as one people only, on the condition that our males be circumcised, as they themselves are. When their livestock, their property, and all their other animals become ours, so let us give our consent to them, and they will settle among us. All the men who went out of the city gate agreed with Hamor and his son Shechem, and every male in the city was circumcised. 3 days later, while all of them were still in pain, 12 Jacob's son Simeon. Sarap na mainit. Mainit na tubig. Three days later, while all of them were still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords and attacked the unsuspecting city, killing every male. Hala. They put Hamor and his son Shechem to the sword and took Dinah from Shechem's house and left. Hala. The sons of Jacob came upon the dead bodies and looted the city where their sister has been defiled. Ano ba yan? This is their flocks and herds and donkeys and everything else of theirs in the city and out in the fields. Si ano guys, yung anak ni Jacob, parang nag-amok ka. Si Simeon tsaka si Levi. Malapit na tayo yung mga lalaki. Ano ba yan? They carried up all their wealth and all their women and their children, taking as plunder everything in the houses. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, You have brought trouble on me by making me eat stains to the Canaanites, and Perizzites. The people living in this land, we are few in number, and if they join forces against me and attack me, I and my household will be destroyed. But they replied, Should he have treated our sister like a prostitute? Gumanti kasi sila. Jacob returns to Bethel. Bilisan na guys. Mag-work na tayo. Jacob returns to Bethel. Then God said to Jacob, Go up to Bethel and settle there and build an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau. So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, Get rid of the foreign gods you have with you and purify yourselves and change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been with me wherever I have gone. So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods and they had and rent the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak of Shechem at Shechem. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell upon the towns of around it. Amen. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell upon the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. Di ko nga kita. Ang lapit-lapit ako na. Pag long distance yung aking ano. Ay, sipon ko. Tama na. Ito lang problema ko sa pagising guys eh. Yung ilong ko talaga. Yan nakakapag ano sa akin. Sa verse 6 na tayo ng 35. Jacob and all the people with him come to Luz, that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar long distance. And he called the place El Bethel because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died and was buried under the oak below Bethel, so it was named Alon Bekoth. After Jacob returned from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." Oo nga, ang kulit. Sinabi na nga sa kanya na Israel na siya, Jacob pa rin ang ano sa kanya. So he named him Israel. And God said to him, "I am Almighty, be fruitful and increase in number. A nation and community of nations will come from you, and kings will come from your body. The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac I also give to you, and I will give this land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him at the place where he had Jericho. He had took with him a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. Jacob called the place where God had took with him Bethel, the deeds of Rachel and Isaac. Oh, namatay na sila. Yung title, sa 16 guys. Then they moved on from Bethel while they were still from distance from Ephrath. Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. Oh, manganganak ulit siya. And as she was having great difficulty in childbirth, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you have another son." As she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni. Ay, basahin mo na lang sa mata guys. Hirap na ako magsalita. Ang gara guys, oh. Tingnan mo, oh. Ilang minuto na tayo. Ang gara nung si Ruben, di ba anak to ni anak ni Israel. Si Jacob is Israel guys, ha. Si Ruben, alam mo yung concubine ng tatay niya. So, parang inasawa din niya. Ayan, alam niyo na yung nagtabi sila. Si Bilha. Si Ruben at si Bilha. Tapos, narinig daw ni Israel. Jacob had 12 sons. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn, Jacob, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, and Zebulun. The son of Rachel is Joseph and Benjamin. So, bago namatay si si Rachel, nanganak pa siya kay Benjamin. Akala ko Omni, ano pa pangalan? Ben-Oni. So, Benjamin pala yun. Ben-Oni. The sons of Rachel made servant Bilhah, Dan, and Naphtali. The sons of Leah made servant Zilpah, Gad, and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob, who were born to him in Padan Aram. Jacob came home to his father Isaac in Mamre, near Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years. Oh, pababa na ng pababa ang buhay ng tao, guys. So, 180 years old na lang siya. Ay, no. Si Isaac ito eh. Akala ko si Jacob. Oh, yun. Si Isaac is 180 years. Then he breathed his last and died, was gathered to his people old and full of years. And his son Esau and Jacob buried him. Ayun. Sa Isaac pala ang namatay. So Rachel tsaka Isaac ang namatay. Isaac ang namatay. Sa Isaac kasi guys, is tatay yan ni Jacob tsaka ni Esau. Tara, lipat na tayo sa Matthew 10. Matthew 10, 1 to 17. Kaya ako na yung sulatan. 1 to 20 pala. Pinaiksi eh. Hirap na kasi magbasa eh. Ayun. Jesus sends out on the 12 disciples. He called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out evil spirits and to heal every disease and sickness. Ako rin kaya, Father God, hirap ako ngayon sa sipon ko. Pagalingin mo rin ako, please. Amen. These are the names of the 12 apostles for Simon, who is called Peter, and his brother Andrew, James' son. Ang sa akin kasi guys, iba, pagising lang ito, hirap ako talaga. Pero pag yung mag-umpisa na ako mag-work, pag ganito lang nakaupo ako yan, walang ginagawa, yan talaga umaatake yung sa ilong ko. Pero pagka mamaya, yung nag-work na tayo, wala na. Ganun lang siya. He called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out evil. Alam nga naman magbasa ako ng Bible pagka, habang nag-work. Diba? And to heal every disease and sickness. These are the names of the 12 apostles for Simon. Who is called Peter, and brother Andrew, Zebedee, and his brother John, Paul, and Bartholomew. These 12 Jesus sent out and followed instruction: do not go among the Gentiles or enter any town of the Samaritans. Go rather to the lost sheep of Israel. As you go, preach this message: the kingdom of heaven is near. Heal the sick, raise the dead. Raise the dead? Raise the dead? Cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Mapagalingin nyo na lahat ng may namin, COVID-19. Tsaka alisin nyo na rin yung pagalingin nyo na rin yung ilong ni Rapla yung pagka madaling araw. Pag madaling araw lang kasi guys eh. Ay nako. Diba? Kasi heal the sick daw guys eh. Heal the sick. Sa verse 8. Raise the dead. Cleanse those who have leprosy. Drive out demons. Freely you have received. Freely give. Freely give. Do not take along any gold, huwag daw tumanggap, or silver or copper or in your belts. Take no bag for the journey, or extra tunic, or sandals, or staff, for the worker is worth his gift. Whatever town or village you enter, search for some worthy person. There stay at his house until you leave. Basahin sa bata at hirap na ako magsalita. Aray ko. Ibig sabihin kanina pa tayo pinapahinto. Kanina pa tayo pinapahinto ni Father God. Ay, whatever town or village you enter, search for some worthy persons there, and stay at his house until you leave. As you enter the home, give it your greeting. If the home is deserving, let your peace rest on it. If it is not, let your peace return to you. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, nagbara na talaga. Excuse me lang. As you enter the home, sabi niya, heal the sick daw. Eh, di ba yung sipon ko, ano na to? Sabi siguro ni Father God, kasi naman yung sipon mo madaling araw lang. Tara na, magta 30 minutes na, oh. Para na tayo naglalaro dito. If the home is deserving, let your peace rest on it. If it is not, let your peace return to you. If anyone will not welcome you, or listen to your words, shake the dust of your feet when you leave that home or town. I tell you the truth, it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on the day of judgment than for the town. I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be as rude as snakes and as innocent as doves. Jesus prepares disciples for persecution. Be on your guard against men. They will hand you over to the local councils and flog you in their synagogues. On my account you will be brought before governors and kings as witnesses to them and to the Gentiles. But when they arrest you, do not worry about what to say or how to say it. At that time you will be given what to say, for it will not be you speaking, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Okay. Kuhanin natin to guys as description. So, verse 20. For it will not be you speaking, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Amen. Love you guys. Bye-bye.